Hi everyone, it's Matthew and well I'm back with another video of Euro Truck Simulator 2 and today we're taking some light fixtures from Zurich to Frankfurt because I finally have the Scandinavian DLC has come out and I finally got it, but unfortunately we've had to disable the other map mods for now, but hopefully they'll start working. Hopefully they'll be updated in the not too distant future. Of course, it'd be a good idea to accept the job first. Anyway, so if the video seems a fair bit smoother, that is because I'm finally on the new, not new-ish cell, but you know, I've got the new case on it now. The CIT Defender case, 500 watt PSU and 120mm fan in it. And the new graphics card, which is now the Sapphire R7 250 2GB, and the original one was as you know, was a Radeon HD 6450, I think, something like that. Yeah, probably was that 1 gig card. This one is a fair bit better. It's not perfect, but I found some things which look better, which just about work with it, you know. Averages around town around 30s, 40s ish, kind of, or sometimes 20s, depending on what town it is, or whatever. And out of town, if I was lucky, I could get up to 50, maybe on the lower settings. On the medium settings to higher, gets around 30, 40. This isn't a modded truck, so just note then, in an American truck it would be a bit worse, obviously. One of those American trucks like Longnose, Kenworth or Peterbilt or whatever. So, you know, at the end of the day, for now it's good. You know, later on this year, I'll probably end up, you know, getting a brand new memory. Well, I will be doing that at some point. And some brand new memory, a bigger power supply, like 650 or 750 watt maybe. And then next year probably upgrade the video card to something like R9 270X 2GB, unless they have a free 70X 2GB, but we'll have to see. And then after that, what else? Yeah, after the and then a new motherboard probably. And then eventually replace these hard drives. So, you know, I don't ever intend to really sort of buy a full-on new PC unless, well, no, I really had to, which in the future I probably will do. But, you know, I'll just keep upgrading this one now because it's very case which I can put almost anything in. I don't know about it, although the only thing I need with an SSD, of course, is a 2.5. I think it's a 2.5. No, 3.5 to 2.5 inch drive bay adapter or something. Something like that, but not 100% sure. Yeah. Yeah, they've seriously made the graphics look a hell of a lot better. I mean, yeah, sure, I pull them up a bit, but they do, in my view, look a lot better than they did. You know, and the game's been a lot better optimized, so the FPS is not necessarily much higher than it was before this setup, but you know, it's a lot more stable than it was. You know, there are various things like that, but of course in my infinite wisdom, I forgot to turn the radio on.
It's not a live edition of the No Say Project. It's a
Good.
pre-recorded, which is also great because, well, even better, I think, in some instances, because we don't have to have any commercial breaks. And of course,
Yeah.
it's no secret that I have nothing but disdain for the advertising industry. But
Yeah, I'm hoping to get a load eventually up into Scandinavia, as the detail in that looks pretty incredible. It really does. You know, at the end of the day, they put some serious work into that. And yeah, there's not a massive amount more, but you know, for the amount of detail they put in, is simply unbelievable. You know, it's so much. I mean, going east when it came out was just a real step up from the standard map. This is more than a step up. It's like a, I don't know.
I appreciate what you're doing on. And let me just make it clear. I'll have it linked up on markstevens.net, of course, in the show notes. Thanks to Calvin. It is everything-voluntary.com.
Oh, that's okay.
Oh, what was I gonna say? Okay.
So either way.
Yeah, it's more than a step up. It's like into the next gen of DLCs for SCS. It really is. And the weather, that's been improved. It's been well, and as I was saying before, yeah, it's more optimized. The game's smaller. It's only a gig and a half now. Before it's like almost 6 gigs big, which for some games is pretty small. Like, look at GTA 5, that's 62 gigabytes in size. And you know, Battlefield 4, I think, was kind of similar to that or something, or smaller, like 40 gigs or something. But still, they're still quite big. So you know, it's nice to have a small game on your hard drive, I suppose.
Recently, and I just thought, wow, this is pretty amazing. You know, when I mean, the Call of Shames are great because it really shows, you know, it puts people in the binds that it does not able to really come back with anything, and then to kind of hear
But I'm still testing out with these graphics, testing out various settings, and at the moment it's on a very big combination between sort of the lower settings, the medium settings, and the higher settings. You know, so textures are on high, but scaling's at 75-100% or something like that, and a few other settings are off. You know, and at the end of the day, it does take a bit of time to find a decent.
Recently, and I talked to him about it, and he was all ready, and he had his motion.
Well, what's the word?
And then
it does take a bit of time to find a decent balance that works. You know.
So he got there, and it was, you know, he didn't actually have to go through with this. So I was like, hey, you know, that's what matters, I guess. So, anyways, yeah, it's been pretty fascinating to discover it all, and to talk to other people about it, and just, you know, on Facebook, I'll just ask the question, you know, just throw it out there to anybody who's friends with me and say.
Yeah, at the moment I'm only running the Jazzycat trailer pack. I'm not running their military or railway packs because they haven't updated the 117 at all, and they seem to be really buggy at the moment with the way they work. So, you know, I'm not that bothered really. It's not a massive deal if they don't work. Yeah, sure they have decent trailers in it, but this new this new update they had with the Scandinavia DLC adds over over 80 new cargoes, like this one. You know, this one looks pretty nice if you ask me. And there's things like the Scania trucks and Volvo trucks, and I mean that's another couple of things they added into the DLC. They added something like they added the Scania plant in Södertälje, and then in Gothenburg, I think it was, they put the Volvo plant in, which is cool.
So that's going to obviously shape the questions that I asked, but they're still questions. You know, they stand on their own.
We've only got 146 odd miles to go. That's cool.
There's that word again. And I actually had to say that to an IRS agent that hopefully we might have the Call of Shame posted, where I had a quote.
You know, hopefully while streaming now it should be a bit easier, because recording before it wasn't so bad. It was just it wasn't running at an FPS for you lot was that smooth. I mean, now it runs The video FPS on OBS is like in the 50s or something, or 40s. For me it's, I don't know, 30, 40-ish. I was around there. High 20s, mid 30s, you know. And
Are people saying it's philosophical as a way of avoiding the question?
what was I gonna say? Yeah. Before streaming, the internet connection I have is alright. Yeah, free up, so I streamed at 800 bitrate, 540 by something, 544, 576 or something like that. Something between 480 and 720, but not 720, but not 480. That worked-ish, but it's quite demanding. You know, hopefully with the new video card, it should be a bit more stable. It's not going to be 100% perfect till I can update some more parts like the memory. Still got an old stick in there which is pretty useless, and one 1600 MHz stick which I'm going to play free because of the motherboard. But you know, if I buy some new 16 gig 2400 MHz, that'll be alright, and eventually later on next year buy a new motherboard, and then you know, kind of buy whatever I can when I can afford it, you know, so it's, you know, pretty good. But yeah, this case that I have now is absolutely massive. It's basically just a massive box with a fan in the front, and you know, I do like it. I mean, it's very, very big. It's got blue lighting in the front, but yeah. It's one of those cases which isn't like this one stylish case. I mean, I suppose you could call it stylish if you really wanted, but the basic shape of it is a massive box, you know. So
pay or die, or the comply or die, which is a hardcore, you know, indisputable, you know, set of facts how they operate. My actions can't justify that. My actions or your actions can't make a criminal enterprise somehow a now moral. And that's what people are doing when they are pointing things like that out. The fact that it's like saying that just because a woman who gets pregnant through a rape and keeps the baby, that she's somehow legitimizing the rape. No.
Right.
I mean, it's such pure insanity. Like, and I think it's because people have to desperately, and we've all gone through this. I'm sure, you know, you had to get rid of.
I'm sure everyone knows that when you go in a tunnel, the FPS is not as good because it has to render in all the lighting and whatever. But
some of us have
only dropped so much.
And so it's so very difficult to let go of what we thought is part of our personality, and that is being an American or being a Canadian and being and all that comes with that. And you have to, all your life you're looking the other way and ignoring the key facts. This is a group of criminals. It's not voluntary, hence it is not moral. It is criminal, and that's a problem. You know that you get, you know, we all run into that when we discuss these things, and you're gonna keep getting it. I mean, I can't imagine how many times people will throw at you, dude. Yeah, that's fine, but who's gonna build the roads?
Right. Yeah, who's gonna protect us from the terrorists that we're creating?
Well, let's get into the concept of blowback. You know, it's one of the good things that Ron Paul did. He actually made that part of the you know, a national discussion. You know,
if all I was doing was gaming, then you know, 8 gig or 12 gig of RAM would be, you know, would be as much as I would need. I would never use more than 8 gig because I do things like video recording and streaming, and occasionally editing. I suppose we need 12 or 16, you know. I would never probably go for 32 because I don't do full-on editing. It's only very basic editing.
No, I don't really have any other options. I mean, that's the only.
I mean, I would like to learn some more. More sort of
that is what it is. And
more advanced editing. We try and make the videos look a little bit more, a little bit better. But hey, I wouldn't say look 100% perfect. No.
And so, I mean, I guess
I'm not, you know, that type of person, you know.
advocates and lawyers that they are so good at spin, they are so good at distraction that you want to, when we're teaching others to deal with them, we want to make it as simple as possible, and that includes, of course, how do I communicate with this guy
only 55 miles to go. And I did forget to say I am running the
that's why I started asking
RJL Scania or something. RJL Scania, modified one with the modified sound mod for it, which I'll try and leave below if I can get around to updating the mods list before I put this video out by Monday.
If I was
we'll see what happens.
Like the government types, and I forced strangers to give me money, would you consider me a criminal? And that really, to me, Skylar, settles the, the arguments they may try to come out with. I keep coming back to that.
Right, and that's really the strength, I think, is the way that it's approached too. You're not going in court and throwing arguments. You're going in court, you're just asking questions and then objecting when they give you non-answers. I think that's really the strength, because when they do say, "Oh, well, that's just this argument or that argument," you say, "I'm not arguing anything. I'm just asking you questions. I'm expecting to get a response from you. You're accusing me of something, and I want to know the facts behind the accusation. And if the facts behind the accusation prove that I'm guilty, then here's my unsigned plea, and I'm prepared to plead that way. But I need to know that that's actually the case, and that's why I'm asking you to give me your argument and back it up with factual evidence." It's brilliant, really. But you don't need me to tell you that.
Well, I appreciate that. It is just
hearing it.
Well, it is just the Socratic method.
Yeah, exactly.
And for those who haven't heard this, when somebody will go to the website, let's say they have an attorney that's helping them, or they're scoping out checking out the attorney, see if they're someone that they want to work with.
And I
let's say
think I'm in the Jazzycat AI pack at the moment. Forget which one. I think I am.
So they may want some help, and so
I'd have to look again.
And the attorney will
Because you lot watch me for a long time, you know that my memory is not,
which is different than this. Of course,
what's the word,
they'll ask me to walk
100% sufficient.
process the way I do.
I mean, to be fair, your short-term memory can only remember like 4 or 5 things at a time. Long-term you can remember more, but yeah, short-term, I was trying to remember way too many things, so I just get all of them. I don't need to only remember things which are actually important, and all the other things back to them, because, well, otherwise I'm probably gonna cause my brain some serious damage, maybe. I don't know.
It's usually 3 questions
whatever.
you need to go through. And I suggest that it's not just with attorneys, it's with anybody that we're talking with, we're discussing these issues with, and that may have an issue with the way we do things. And it's one, if someone's making an accusation against us, let's say a prosecutor, I believe we should aggressively challenge all of their arguments, the facts that it's based on. And everybody is well, but duh, yeah, you're really breaking some new ground there, Mark. Okay, and then the second one is, when we challenge the prosecutor's arguments, that we don't give him a free pass on any of them. Right. And I have them on right. Well, of course, what good attorney would give the prosecution a pass on an argument?
Yeah, then this new update is a God's end to Euro Truck. It's really probably one of the best updates which has come out for a very, very long time. It really is.
Is always the same. Just physically in Arizona, the constitution laws apply. We have jurisdiction, and that's also an element of the charge, because you're being charged.
Yeah, I definitely think I am running the Jazzycat AI back.
You will see the confirmation
the new ones. Some of these cars are not standard. I know that. So yeah, I probably am running the Jazzycat AI pack.
No, we can't challenge that. Yeah, but number 2. You agreed that the prosecution should not be given a free pass on any of his arguments. Now you're saying that you should give the prosecution a free pass. But you also said that no good attorney would do that.
Oops. Oh well, we can go the other way around.
But whether they're an attorney or not, anybody who understands logic and has any love of truth and uncovering rise in getting to justice, will always agree that you should not give somebody a free pass on an argument.
Well, yeah, that, or, a free pass on an important element of the crime, applicability of the law it's claimed that, has been violated. I mean, it's like,
Yep, I'm definitely running that Jazzycat AI
let's say
pack.
that Australia, the government of
I think
Australia,
it's
has a law that
2.4
says that
one,
if
or maybe
you're
2.6.
not allowed to have purple hair,
Or maybe
if you color your hair
2.6 is
purple,
the
then
no.
you've broken their law.
I think 2.9 was the
Obvious question is, who does this law
name of the
apply to?
trailer pack, and
Well,
2.4
it
is the
only
name of
applies if
the
you're in Australia.
AI
It's like,
pack.
well, why? Why is
Something
that
like
the
that.
case? And then it's like, well, what are the facts that connect the law that's written down by somebody with people who live in Australia? What's the fact that connects them? And unfortunately, there isn't one. Well, fortunately, there isn't one. But just to see that this law passed over here in Australia, why would that apply to people in the U.S.? It's obviously inapplicable. Well, when we understand that there's no factual connection between that law and people in Australia, it's just as obviously inapplicable. So that's kind of the news too, which has been helpful.
Well, that's good. So let me ask you, what are the typical responses?
I'm gonna try and park
just when you question people.
That might fail big time.
Something
Right,
that people just take
let's have a look.
which they've actually said that they call shame or something. New Zealand, where they just take credit. So that, I couldn't help but, I didn't know on that call when I asked. So it's like Santa Claus, right?
Well, yeah, and it is a lot like Santa Claus because kids are told from when they're little. I'm trying to raise my kids in anarchy, and that means different things, peaceful parenting, homeschooling and stuff. But when they're getting in the car and
Come on.
they need them to wear their seatbelt,
Give me the option to.
I don't want to be hassled.
There we go.
I don't want them to be safe, and I'll say, well, I need you to be safe, and sometimes they're like, oh, I'll be safe. But earlier on, I'd say, well, Daddy can get in trouble with that police. And so even unintentionally, I'm communicating the idea that the police enforce laws and that those laws are applicable to me. You know what I mean? I mean, they're little.
Okay, I'm gonna stop the video there.
Get into why it doesn't.
I do hope you've enjoyed
like,
the
there's certain things we don't do because
new quality of the video. I hope it's a lot better. Do tell me.
That
And,
enforcement equals applicability.
if I need to make any better, I will, but it's fine as it is then.
With everybody, and
As it
of
is.
course, as you go to government schools, that idea is.
But thanks very much for watching.
So now that you're an
It's
adult,
much appreciated.
you're asked that question. What evidence do you have
But
that
for now,
applies? It's
thanks very much for watching,
the mind is
and I'll see you next time.
a question that they've never thought of.